Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the channel, and this first video I'm here to talk about today is really an opinion-based video here. The first one we do today is I wrote down for my video ideas here is, who is the NFL MVP? And I'll have two previously for the Cowboys and Kentucky, my two teams. I'll do my regular news videos, and I'll do a separate video on Draymond Green's suspension. But I want to talk about the NFL MVP race. I really haven't talked about it much. Who I think the MVP is, I've kind of made it clear in my Cowboys recaps. I think my quarterback, Dak Prescott's the MVP. But there's some other contenders for MVP as well. I don't think Jalen Hurts is there. Patrick Mahomes, they just haven't had as good of seasons as the past few years. When you say past few years for Jalen Hurts, it's really just the last year he had that breakout year. Mahomes has been pretty good until this year, but the receiver's kind of mid, but he's not in the MVP conversation. You take out Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes from this conversation. I think it's between like four players. And the first one I'm going to start with here is Dak Prescott. 3,505 yards this year, fourth in the league. The league leader in passing touchdowns, 28 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions this year. He's never been a turnover machine. People was not convinced last year where he threw a lot of interceptions coming off that hand injury, I believe. It was either hand or shoulder injury. And people thought he was a freaking interception machine. He's proven them wrong this year. And he's second in QBR in the league with a 74.6 QBR. So he's been way better this year than last year. Mike McCarthy's really let Dak Prescott take control of the offense now. After a few weeks of the season, the offense wasn't really good in the red zone. It's much improved now in the red zone, getting a lot more touchdowns when they're getting down there. Mike McCarthy's really up in that playbook, letting Dak Prescott take control of the offense. And he's been a beast, man. Like, these last about 5-6 games, he's only thrown one interception to 8, I think like 21 touchdowns, like 2 picks or something like that. Like, he's been a freaking beast, man. And yes, he's been sacked 7 times the last two games. The offensive line has been great, but he's been making some plays with his legs ever since he started to, use his legs more to create plays. The offense has started to get rolling. Tony Pollard started to get rolling throughout the season. And Dak's been great this year. A 69 completion percentage with a 107 rating. Like, his last 5 games, 15 touchdowns and 1 pick. 68 completion percentage. I don't see how you can say he's not in that conversation for MVP. And he's an elite quarterback option as well. People just got convinced last year where he threw those 13, 14 picks where he was a good quarterback. But this year he's proven he's an elite quarterback. And he's easily in that he's easily in the top 10 or top 5 conversation. But I know people will still argue, oh, he hasn't been a good team. Seahawks were about 500 at that time that they beat them. They beat Philly at home. Dak's easily in the MVP. Is easily, in my opinion, right now, the MVP favorite. And he's not a game manager, as Cam Newton said. A game manager doesn't have 28 touchdowns to 6 picks at this point of the season, leading the league in passing touchdowns and second in quarterback rating, or whatever the fuck it is, and nearly having a 70 completion percentage. He's the MVP right now, and he's turned as a corner as the Cowboys leader, leading that team. But yeah, it's really the first option I have to talk about. The next one I want to talk about is Tyreek Hill. In my opinion, Dak Prescott's closest competition for that most valuable player award is Tyreek Hill. Having a freaking monster this season. That's Dak Prescott's closest competition right now, in my opinion. He has 97 receptions this year, first in yards, 1,542, 12 touchdowns. And besides the last game where he kind of got injured, they didn't really throw to him a lot. But he's been really good this year. Really great. He's had, over his past 5 games, he's had 2 games with 146 plus receiving yards. Like, that's just how insane he's been. Nearly 2,000 yards. He's projected to get, just get over 2,000 yards. Like, that's just how good Tyreek Hill's been this year. And probably the best receiver in the league. I was going to say probably. He definitely is the best receiver in the league. But I don't think he's going to win MVP. Even if he... I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, when Cooper Kupp had his insane season, he didn't even win MVP that year. He got Offensive Player of the Year. So I just don't know. It's pretty much a quarterback award at this point. So even if Tyreek Hill does get to 2,000 yards, I don't think he'll get it. Because the NFL is like, it's pretty much, the MVP is basically the quarterback award. But I think Tyreek Hill or Dak Prescott, or I think those two are the front runners. In my opinion. But the next one I want to talk about is Christian McCaffrey. I know many people probably want to say Christian McCaffrey, but I don't know. I would say Christian McCaffrey's in that discussion, man. He's really good. The best running back in the league, in my opinion. And to say he is in the MVP conversation, with at least in the conversation with Dak and Tyreek Hill, would be pretty outlandish to say. He has 226 carries this year, 1,177 yards, 12 touchdowns, which is tied second, averaging 5.2 yards a carry. And he's been much better this year than last year. Last year he wasn't too great, but this year's been way better. Or he just didn't get as many carries as last year. But receiving wise, he's been good as well. 437 yards, 5 touchdowns, 17 total touchdowns for McCaffrey. And already hit over 1,000 yards this year. So, you can make MVP case for Christian McCaffrey, but I don't know. I don't think he's gonna have a shot to win MVP. I mean, I'm just saying he should be in the conversation. But I don't think he'll win it. Brock Purdy, I'll mention him because I think he'll be in the conversation. Maybe you can make a case for him because it's a quarterback award. He has similar stats to Dak Prescott. It's kind of easy when you're throwing 3-yard screen passes, getting the yards after catch. What Dak's doing is more impressive. I think it's between 3 players, really. I should just narrow it down to 3 players. I don't think Brock Purdy's going to be in it. It's either going to be Dak, Tyreek Hill, or Christian McCaffrey. Those are the 3 favorites. I think CJ Stroud's fallen off. Not fallen off, but fallen off that conversation after a few cold weeks. Not playing the best. I think Dak's going to win it. Possibly. I'm going to say Dak Prescott will win it. He's just been great all season long besides that San Francisco game. Other than that, he's been lights out this year. So, yeah, that's really all to say for this video. So, until next time, peace. Go Cowboys, go Dak.